Hello. I'm really glad to meet all the cities and real estate developers and campuses on behalf of the Finnish Center for Smart Cities to this webinar about the fourth round of the Smart City Challenge. And we will give you soon an overview how you could participate. And we are happy also to have a great international speaker with us from the Metaverse Institute that you will hear soon. We also like to draw to an attention of the researchers and the developers whom we also have here. That on April 17, there will be also a hybrid session for researchers and companies and developers who are also interested in Smart City Challenge participation. So feel free to register for that in case you belong to that target group. But you're very welcome to also listen in today and enjoy our guest speaker, Dr. Christina Yan Zhang from the Metaverse Institute. So first, I will shortly tell you who we are and what is the Smart City Challenge about and what have been already the pilots that we have done. And then you will hear some great insights about possible future for the smart cities. And in the end, the last part, I will then go to the practicalities of how you can really join the fourth round of the Smart City Challenge. So the fourth round takes place from May 24 to 25, and after that, the new pilot projects will start. As we have quite many of the people here with whom we haven't yet cooperated, so very shortly, Finnish Center for Smart Cities is established by the TALTE from Estonia, Aalto from Finland, and also Forum Virium, that is the innovation organization of the city of Helsinki. So our mission really is to take care that the cities grow and be nice environments for their citizens, but also take care of our planet and try to harm it as little as possible. And our ambition really is that our 10 smart solutions will be developed and implemented in at least 30 European cities by 2030. And by now we can say that 4 of our solutions have been implemented by 4 cities. So that's the tangible result by now. But together with you, we hope to make the next steps and really get the ambition to be done. So this piloting program, yes, has been going on from 2020. And we have financing for 2 more rounds until 2028. And the specifics is that we really always start with actual city challenges that we gather from real cities. And then we bring on board researchers to develop together with the cities and citizens the solutions needed. And these are usually huge, quite huge projects, not the usual small startup grants that are also quite active and nice things to take place. So this picture kind of illustrates our approach that, yeah, we always, as said, start with the city needs and challenges. Then the researchers and companies are welcome to propose the solutions. Then we match them together. They create the new solutions and new companies, new services, new products will be created that should not stay as projects and pilots, but really become long-term new solutions offered for many, many cities and in many cities around the world. And of course, we don't need technologies for the sake of technologies, but we really aim to have the happier citizens, more sustainable cities, and of course, the healthier planet thanks to that. The practical side is, yes, that the money to really cover the costs of those new developments is funded by the European Regional Development Fund and the Estonian Ministry of Research and Education. That's also the reason we always want one Estonian city to be part of it. so that we see also the real impact inside Estonia. But also thanks to that, we hope that the center will stay happy and long-lived, meaning that we can continue doing those kinds of developing new solutions for many, many years, also after the end of this concrete financing. But from this financing, we have already done 2 rounds of pilots, so developed 6 new solutions. And from rounds 3 and 4, we will develop seven more solutions. As you see, the financing for the 7 solutions is around 15 million euros. So the 6 pilots that have been done from 21 to 23, there were 4 larger pilots and 2 smaller ones. Very shortly, as DigiAudit is a solution for optimizing the energy efficiency and the internal climate for buildings. Renovation strategy tool is a digital tool to help to find out best renovation ways to raise the energy efficiency of buildings. Microgrids and energy storage platform is an open source platform to really help the energy providers to optimize the solutions and make it easier for them. Green Twins, it has developed the library of 3D urban greenery, bushes, trees, and so forth. And it is then added to the digital twins for planning purposes. Autonomous Vehicle Toolkit helps the cities to implement these self-driving buses in their locations safely for the citizens, so that you map the area and know how it will be moving around. Urban well-being diagnostics being a tool to understand the stress level of people in concrete city locations, so that you not only talk about that you make the cities citizen friendly, but you can really measure it objectively and understand how the people feel in your city environment. So these are the 6 solutions also at our homepage that are already developed. And if we have cities who feel that they would need any of them, please contact us and we can see how they could be implemented in your cities. Then in this autumn, we started round 3, where we had then 42 cities from 11 countries that proposed challenges and voted for those. And then by the end of November, researchers and companies proposed 30 initial solution ideas. By now, we have selected 6 best of them for the finals, who will now put together the full proposals by August 22. And hopefully we will select 3 from those that will be launched from November 1. And these 6 are very shortly then the first taking care of how we can again optimize the energy usage in buildings. The second one is also tracking this measurement of stress to the virtual environments like 3D and hybrid, so we can take into account the stress level of people also already in the planning phase. Urban Splash takes care of the bathing water quality to do it really online and quickly. CitySense helps the cities again operatively to understand the problems inside their city and act based on that. Smart Waste, as the heading says, wants to optimize the garbage collection inside cities. And Safe School Way wants to find out what are the problems and what could be the smooth ways in the traffic in city environments, and find solutions how to make the traffic and way to school as safe as possible. So this is very shortly to give you an understanding what kind of ideas there have been. And I hope that in round 4, we will see much more interesting ideas that we researchers are ready to solve. But now I'm glad to give the word to Christina Yan Zhang to give you some great inspiration from what the future for the cities could look like, hopefully to inspire you to think wider ahead. So
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's a really great pleasure to meet all of you here today. And let's make a start. Can you see my screen here?
Yeah, we see nicely.
Okay, wonderful. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Christina Yan Zhang, CEO of the Metaverse Institute. Today, I'm going to talk about how the future of smart city will look like. So, David Attenborough once said, now over half of us live in an urban environment. It is our responsibility to do everything within our power to create a planet that provides a home, not only just for us, human, but also for all life on Earth. If we're looking at empirical data in the past 30 years, as analyzed by the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Lausanne, you can find out that all the many different technologies we are utilizing around smart city development, whether it's AI, IoT, big data analysis, etc., are all start to converging to form the future smart city around the areas of sustainability. So it can be anything to do with climate change, smart energies, waste management, pollutions, waters, etc. So at the Metaverse Institute, what we do is we advise the United Nations, governments, institutional investors, big corporates, institutions to looking at how to identify effective use case of frontier technology to be applied with positive impact to our daily life. Because for us, the Metaverse has increasingly become a convergence of many different technologies coming together to form the next generation of the internet, which is more immersive, interactive, and intuitive. We started the journey a little bit early. So in 2006, when I was studying at the UK's Loughborough University, looking at how to use Second Life, in case you remember, the world's first metaverse platform to develop international strategies for university worldwide. And then I continue my research looking at how to use digital twins in the metaverse environment to simulate and optimize for construction, engineering, architectural projects, which I completed in 2012. The issue is when you try to do something which is a little bit early, especially when it comes to technology, it takes time for people to understand, how the technology can benefit them. So I also experienced that kind of challenge many years ago. So at that time, very few people understand what I was doing. I often got people come over to me and said, Christina, how on earth did you get a full scholarship playing computer games every day? And I have to tell them, it's not a computer games, it's really the next generation of the internet. But the issue is, people still don't get it. They even gave me a nickname and they said, Christina, you got a permanent head damage, PhD in the metaverse. So as you can see, any kind of technology, it would take time for mass adoption. So what kind of technology is actually converging now to form part of the ecosystem of the metaverse? Of course, one of the most important technologies we're talking about here is artificial intelligence. According to Sequoia Capital, one of the most famous venture capitalist funds in the world, so AI's output to use text prompt to create text, code, images, videos, and 3D models is expected to improve exponentially from now to about 2030. You might remember that the recent launch of OpenAI's Sora, its capability to use text prompt to create high-resolution videos in 60 seconds really shocked many people. And people saying that's going to be the next major things for AI-related adoption. But I can tell you, the one after that is going to be text prompt for 3D objects, 3D avatar, and 3D environments. which will never be cheaper, easier, faster, which would really allow every single citizens of different part of the world to participate in the urban planning, development, and implementation in a way which never happens before. So I think that will going to have a major impact on lots of cities worldwide. Of course, the European Commission has already seen that. So last year, you might remember in April, EU has launched the CitiVerse initiative, which is basically to develop citizen-centered future smart city using different virtual world technologies with lots of fundings available. And the Metaverse Institute, we were very lucky to start a project with the Tampere municipal governments in Finland. So many of you have probably heard about Tampere. And Nokia was set up in Tampere 160 years ago. So it's one of the world's most innovative and forward-thinking, cities. And the interesting thing is we were working with the government there, and we're looking at how to use many different frontier technologies to achieve the 5 different priority areas of the government. Number 1 is happiness of the citizen, because Finland has consistently ranked as number 1 in the world on how happy their people is. But we also know sometimes when you have 24 hours, like daylight or 24 hours of night, some people will have a little bit, depressed issues. So nothing is perfect. And the second area we're looking at is, of course, everyone care about sustainability. It's really important. And the third area is inclusion, equality, and diversity. And of course, with so many interesting technology become available for city governments and our technology community, how can we set up effective governance to ensure privacy, cybersecurity, and all the other related, governance, compliance structure will be in place are also important. And of course, the fifth area we're looking at is how to use technology to really, support the well-being and healthcare of people, especially after COVID. Everyone start to really, pay more attention of both their mental health and physical health. And lastly, we're looking at how AI is having a major impact on the society in a both positive way and also potential risk we need to mitigate against. So as part of this interesting project, we were asked to looking at what kind of frontier technology will be maturing from now to about 2040 to impact on the government 5 priority areas. So you can see there's many different things we're talking about here, all the way from Metaverse to nuclear fusion to quantum computing to personalized medicine, etc. So we're also looking at how we can develop the structures in place to allow hundreds or even thousands of digital twins, operating at the same time within the urban environment, whether it's to do with human digital twin of individual citizens to prevent them from getting ill, to the smart application engines of the whole cities on 5G, 6G network to ensure cybersecurity or public infrastructure, like residential and also like different industries, etc. So how everything can be simultaneously optimized by machine learning and AI 24/7 to really ensure a sustainable resilience and participatory urban environment for all people to flourish. So this report is now included on the website of the United Nations International Telecommunication Union, which is the UN agency who are responsible for setting up many different international standards around frontier technology. Also, there is another piece of research conducted by ABR Research in October last year. So they predict that up to 700 cities will be utilizing different metaverse-related technology to apply it in the urban environment by 2030. So our work was highlighted as one of the top 4, together with Seoul, Rome, and Mexico. And 1 month later, World Economic Forum also highlighted the work we have been doing in the space. So what are going to be the exciting developments in the years to come? Of course, the first major things a lot of us have been talking about is digital twin. But as I mentioned, the most exciting digital twin developments is actually taking place on the citizen level. So there has been lots of interesting exploration looking at how to use health analytics, predictive medicine, productivity improvement to actually ensure our citizens they will have a twin of their physical and mental, status being optimized 24/7 to better, results. Especially, we all know healthcare budget of lots of governments is mainly spending on treating people with very serious medical conditions like cancer or chronic disease like diabetics, etc., which is quite a huge spending. But if we try to use digital twins of our citizens to prevent them from getting ill or even develop very serious medical conditions, the healthcare budget for lots of governments can actually, be spent on more effective, preventative treatments. And also our citizens will be happier. Another areas is on the city level of the digital twin. One of a really interesting case study is taking place in Wellington in New Zealand. So as you can see, they develop a digital twin to looking at how to fight climate change, and they got $1 million like fund from the Bloomberg Mayor Challenge in 2022. So they are looking at how the rising sea levels as a result of global warming is going to impact on the coastal area of Wellington, and they are simulating different scenarios, how to, putting measures in place to fight against that, which has proved very effectively. Of course, Singapore is the world's first country to have a digital twin on the country level. So what they have been doing is using laser scanning capabilities, capturing surface data, together with thousands of satellite images to put into a centralized digital twin system to use AI to optimize that for really, best performance of the whole city management. And they are using digital twins here to help identify the best, spot to install solar panels to 350,000 households every year for 2 gigawatt peak solar energies by 2030. And of course, on the top level, we have the European Commission doing wonderful work for digital twin of the Earth, which we call Destination Earth. And they're already putting 150 million euro to looking at create a full digital replica of our planet by 2030 to really allow us to fight climate change. And also this will enable Europe to become the world's climate neutral continent by 2050, which they call the Green Deal, which is very exciting. Another key area lots of us will be looking at is what will be the next generation of the user interface for our digital world. Well, the answer is perhaps augmented reality or mixed reality. A lot of us have already got Apple Vision Pro, and you know how really cool it is to have this kind of augmented, reality to be put on top of existing physical world to provide more opportunities for training, engagements, entertainments, like simulation, which are really cool. The other side, you might remember that Elon Musk is always very keen to use brain-computer interface to develop the ultimate solution for people to access the digital world. And I know some of us feel slightly uncomfortable to have the idea of a computer chips, attached to your brain. That sounds very scary. So, but a lot of things he has been doing now is actually proved to be like producing positive results. So in January this year, he has already successfully got a chip implanted into the first human patient. And in March this year, there is a live stream on Twitter, which is now called X. And you can see this gentleman who was paralyzed under his shoulder was able to use the brain-computer interface in his brain to be able to use his thoughts to play chess game on a computer screen, which is really cool. But I think a lot of computer interface in the brain is currently focusing on medical purpose. There is another gentleman in Switzerland was able to use BCI, which is brain-computer interface in short, to be able to walk again after he has been paralyzed for more than 20 years. So there is a lot of huge medical, benefits of BCI at this moment, although it can be very controversial. Now, on the other side, another really high-profile company who is in the space is called Syntron. And Syntron is using less invasive brain-computer interface instead of cutting your skull and put the chips in. What they do is they have developed a very interesting sensor, which you can inject it into your blood vessel and push it all the way to, connect it with your brain nerves. So using this technology, a gentleman, again, he was paralyzed for many decades, was able now to use the brain-computer interface in his blood vessel to communicate with the outside world using his thoughts, which is very powerful. But the most interesting development actually taking place in China now at Tsinghua University. So they have managed to develop a new material which you can insert inside your inner ear. So there's no surgery, no medical procedures. It's almost just like my Fitbit. You wear it when you want it. You don't wear it when you don't want it. You put it inside your ear, and it will have the same kind of quality, like information transfer between your brain thoughts and this BCI. So imagine this kind of, BCI become popular in the future. How powerful will that be? So this is an image which I personally really like, and I find that very funny. So potentially in the future, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, they can, both two billionaires, they can communicate with each other without the need of telephones. They can just use their thoughts to communicate to each other. And I forgot to mention, Syntron, the company, they are invested by both Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. So another two, very powerful tech billionaires in the space. So imagine in the future, if we can use this kind of non-invasive brain-computer interface, like a new type of wearables, which we can allow every single citizen to use that to access any kind of digital twin simulations or like virtual reality, augmented reality things. That will really give, millions of citizens the opportunity to participate in urban planning in a way which never happens before, which can be hugely powerful. But we need to address another major issue, which is all this wonderful technology will require a lot of computing power. So how can we do that? The solution is already out there. You might remember in 2019, Google has made an announcement that they have achieved content supremacy. What that means is they have developed a quantum computer which can run 158 million times faster than existing high-performance computing. Just to give you an idea, for a very complicated calculation, which used to need to take 10,000 years to calculate, now it's only 4 minutes. And that was nearly 5 years ago. And last year, when they had the second generation of quantum computing coming out, this time, this computer was 241 million times faster than its own predecessor. So you can see how fast technology can move. It's really staggering. And let's put it in the urban environment. Quantum technology is more than just quantum computer. It includes quantum key distribution, quantum software, quantum cloud, post-quantum encryption, quantum sensoring, quantum materials, etc. And each of them will be able to pretty much revolutionize existing computing infrastructure at scale. And there is a piece of very interesting experiment conducted 2 years ago in Sorbonne University in France. So they're looking at using a computer simulation to assess whether existing quantum computing technology could turn Paris, a very beautiful city, into a functional quantum city, especially in the areas of quantum communication, because quantum communication is very secure telecommunication structures. So they will put all the telecommunication and institutions with vast quantity of data in an extremely secured way. And the outcome is quite positive. And of course, all the wonderful things we talk about here today need to take into full consideration of the environment impact. And what's one of the most challenging things we need to all address now is actually water scarcity. So at COP28 last year, a report was released looking at actually one of the challenges we all need to pay attention is water resource scarcity. So by 2050, about 2/3 of the world population, nearly 5 billion people, will be suffering from water scarcity. And, it's going to be felt unevenly across different parts of the world. And then the interesting thing is the hottest topic of our time, artificial intelligence, is actually not environmentally friendly. So OECD published an article last year in November looking at how much water AI actually consumes. And they quoted a research from Cornell University published in October last year. And if you're looking at the global AI demand now, it may be accountable for 4.2 to 6.6 billion cubic meter of water withdrawal in 2027. What that means is the water withdrawal we use to, cooling down, the data center of training AI, etc., will be more than the total annual water withdrawal of more than 4 or 6 Denmark. So imagine, like 2/3 of the global population will be suffering from water scarcity by 2050. And at the same time, we are all racing to try to develop the next biggest, AI machine learning models. That doesn't sound sustainable, right? So how can we address that? Well, again, the European Commission is doing a wonderful job, and they're putting out 2 million euros last year to looking at how we can put the data center to the space because it's freezing cold there. There is no air, it's vacuum. So it's perfect for cooling down the data center. And on the other side, a US startup called Lone Star, they have received 5 million US investment to become the first company who are planning to put the data center in the moon. Similar, strategies behind. So lots of the work we are doing now is actually working across many different UN agencies to link international standard for emerging technologies. For example, I'm currently vice chairman for International Telecommunication Union's Metaverse Working Group on sustainability, inclusion, and accessibility. We also work with UNESCO looking at the future of education, with International Civil Aviation Organization to looking at the future of aviation, with WIPO, which is World Intellectual Property Organization, looking at IP protection rights of generative AI related, like 3D objects, 3D environments, with International Standard Organization on lots of standardization work, with Digital Cooperation Organization headquarters in Saudi Arabia, to looking at how to support the digital economy with accessibility in mind. Another area we are very much focusing on is working very closely with the International Science Council, which is the world's largest scientific body with membership of 230 National Academy of Science. So IC have a separate mandate from the Secretary General of the United Nations to looking at the major scientific breakthrough of the world. So my mandate as one of 6 global experts appointed to their board is looking on how AI and other frontier technology will impact on the global innovation system. So we are combining the standardization work of the UN together with many different frontier technology of the International Science Council to see how we can empower cities in different parts of the world, through my work at ITU in another capacity as co-chairman for ITU's task group on pre-standardization of the CitiVerse, to work with member state, private sector to identify effective use case of many different frontier technologies, how they can be applied in urban environments. And then we are developing the UN definition and the roadmap, utilizing many different technology, whether it's AI, digital twin, Web3, quantum, telecommunications, etc., to utilize that for people-centered future smart city, to allow different cities, governments, private institutions to empower our citizens to play a more active role in the sustainability, issues of our time. Because we know that at this moment, as David Attenborough said, more than 50% of the global population is in urban environments. And by 2050, that's going to be nearly 80%. But we know city governments, they might not always be most well-financed, and they need a lot of support, for digital transformation. And it's also not always easy to mobilize the citizens to play an active part. So there's lots of things we should do to really support cities to play a big part in the whole fighting against climate change. And I think we can do that. So I want to conclude my speech by quoting Sir David Attenborough again. And he said, if working apart, we are a force powerful to destabilize our planet, surely working together, we are powerful enough to save it. In my lifetime, I have witnessed a terrible decline. And in yours, you could and should witness a wonderful discovery. So my conclusion is, I know many of you here are very interested in the funding today. But I think what's even more important is how we can use technology to really develop scalable solutions to allow more cities, more governments to really use technologies to help our planet to be sustainable, inclusive, and participatory. And I wish you every success in achieving that. And I think we should do that. And we will do it now. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Christina. That was really a good speech and a good conclusion that we have new and new technologies and research discoveries that can be of help, but that also bring us new challenges to solve. So it's always like you never only get the benefits, you mostly get also the disadvantages. But yeah, that all comes along with that. Yes, we will also share the presentation later on, and the contacts of Christina were there. So really, if you want to contact Christina and contribute to her work or invite her to speak in your events, then you are welcome to invite Christina. And yeah, if you still have some questions, feel free to write them into the chat. Some Christina can answer already now, and some then she will answer then later on. But then I will continue with kind of practicalities about the Smart City Challenge, as I really hope that quite many also new cities that haven't been with us until now will join the round 4 of the Smart City Piloting Program. As yes, shortly told, then yeah, we always start with city challenges. So we hope that many cities, counties next to the cities, real estate developers, private campuses will let us know what are the real challenges they are facing, interesting, complicated challenges that hopefully the researchers and developers can offer solutions to. Then the next step is that the researchers and companies read the challenges, maybe also ask some further questions from the cities. And then by mid-September, they will offer the initial solution ideas. Then we help the researchers and the cities with the challenges to meet each other. And then by mid-November already, they should then make joint initial proposals about what the solution will be and how it will be piloted in minimum 2 cities, one from Estonia and one from whatever country in the world. Then we will select the best ones as we did in round 3 now. And we will give also small grants to these finalists to already put together the full proposals and do some further validation to understand the need for that solution, how it could really work, and so forth. And then we will select 3 to 4 pilot projects to start from September 25. So what's there for cities? Really, we want the solutions to make the city environments be better for its citizens, the people who live in these cities, but also to take into account that we want the planet to survive for many, many generations. None of the technology, none of the pilots or new solutions should be technology push, but it's always they should solve some real practical problems from the city. And that's the reason we want the cities to propose them, not companies or not researchers to propose the challenges. These should come only from the cities, counties, or private campuses. In the rounds 3 and 4, we want minimum one Estonian and one foreign city in each pilot. Yes, it is financed from the Estonian fund. That's the reason the Estonian city is a must. But we want one city from another country in order to have the researchers to think international from day one. So it's applicable not only in Estonia, but internationally. And all the challenges tend to be not just one discipline centered, but really they need researchers from different institutes, different disciplines to join the forces to propose the solutions. So you will have that kind of interesting teams to make the solutions. We also would be very happy to have citizens engage throughout the development from day one, so that these solutions are like long-term sustainable. The citizens know that it's based on their needs and their wishes and not top-down, just the city saying that this is the best for you. So also helping the teams to think how to work, how to engage the citizens and empower their citizens. And as said, we hope that the end results of the pilot projects are really scalable products and services, so they won't stay as a research project, but really get to the market in one or other way. So the projects will be either 2 or 3 years, and the phases of the pilot projects will be the same. The first phase is to really get deeper into the solution and work it out what really the pilot will be. So the researchers from different institutes, the cities will work together to fine-tune that. The central part being the real pilots in minimum 2 cities, and analysis of the pilots, fine-tuning of the solution. And then if they have a solid business plan and the pilot is successful, then the last phase is really getting ready for the scaling up and really commercialization phase. From the length saying, then yes, there will be mid-sized 2 years and large one 3 years, and the budgets then being 835,000 or 1.2 million for the large ones. So they're quite huge projects. So what's there for the cities in reality? You will really get tailor-made solutions for your city as you engage, starting from the urban challenge and then throughout all the phases, so that the researchers can take into account all the practicalities, all the real-life nuances that you have in your city. So we will cover the piloting costs, the city expert salaries that will be involved, the travel costs. So you will get rid of the bureaucracy and we will cover the costs. And for example, you don't need to do the tendering. If there is something needed for the pilot, we will do it by ourselves. For international cities, meaning cities outside Estonia, yes, maybe that's an interesting opportunity for you to work with one city or more than one city from Estonia, as being quite digitally advanced country in the world. And of course, for Estonian cities, definitely it's also worth to see what are the challenges and how the other cities in the world work and how to work together with them. And hopefully this is also basis for long-term cooperation with TalTech for new and more interesting solutions in your city. Then also we are very open for real estate developers and private campuses to propose the challenges and join. So for you also, you will get these solutions that answer you your specific needs and take all that into account. As said, we can cover all the salaries of researchers and the things needed to develop the solutions. Unfortunately, according to the financial conditions, we cannot cover the salary costs and the direct costs of private partners. But still, the researchers and all the development costs are covered. And definitely, you will get also new experiences from the other partner cities, one from Estonia and one from another country, to be beneficial for your own developments. And hopefully also we can cooperate with you on other further development needs. How we will select the best project is really, we want to see the business potential. We want to see the wider impact of those solutions, also strong research competence and potential, and of course to understand how it can help our center to grow and prosper and do more pilots, which comes back to the first point mainly, but also the research, for example, increasing the research team or making new horizon research projects. So the call for action is really for cities to send us 1 to 3 urban challenges by May 15 to that email. The template for those maximum 3 pages is at our homepage, so you can download it already today. So here I've brought some city challenges. So we want really the cities to tell us about the problem, the challenge that they have, and not to offer the solution. This will be done by researchers. So try to explain it as clearly and practically to the researchers. What is really this challenge kind of contains? So because researchers, they live in their world and they love the technologies of the research topics they do. So they may not really understand what is the essence of the problems inside a city. So this template should really open for them the practical side, the real life in your city and what is the essence of the problem. And cities are very warmly welcome to engage citizens to map those problems. So be creative and find out what is there. What we also want to stress that we can still find solutions to the problems that are kind of complicated enough, where there is research, enough challenge for the researchers to work something out. So if there is a thing where you in reality know exactly what you need, you just lack money, then unfortunately this is not the ground for that. And we'd also ideally do not like cities to tell that they want to use this or that kind of technology. But really bring out what do they want to get solved. In some cases, technology might help, but in some cases, it may be very non-technological, a process or an easy, very normal everyday tool that can help to solve the problem. So very shortly also, this free page that we asked you to fill in reality it contains those 4 questions. So first, really, to tell us about this urban challenge as practical terms as possible. Then also, in the second question, try to say, okay, how have you solved it so far? Or maybe there are already on the market some solutions, so why don't you like them? Why haven't you bought them? What's the problem with these? Then also try to help us understand, okay, if there would be a good solution, what do you want to be changed in your city? What's the impact for your citizens or city environment or energy efficiency, whatever it is, but what is the impact you want to see? And the 4th one, if you'd like to become the piloting city, then why? What is your motivation? Shortly also about that. Then, yes, you can download this challenge form already from our homepage under the Smart City Challenge 2024. On the second page of that one, there is also kind of checklist for you. So use it for your benefit to understand you are on the right way, but of course, delete it before sending the filled in form to us. This is just to help you to see that everything is as needed. So what you need to do. First, yes, map your challenges in one other way inside your city. Maybe you already have the roadmap for your city, and then just pick the most urgent ones from there. Please send them to us by May 15, 1 to 3 challenges per city. And then you can already register for the May 29 workshop. It will also be hybrid, so the Estonian cities are very welcome to come to Teltech. The others can join online. And this will be the workshop where cities and real estate developers can orally also present their challenges so that researchers would understand it in the best way. And also the other cities can understand and think if that is also an important challenge for me or not really. Then all the cities can vote for 1 to 5 urban challenges proposed by others by June 18, because the goal is that we will include in this round for only the challenges that have minimum 1 Estonian city and 1 foreign city interested in that challenge, meaning interested in the solution for that challenge. And both proposing the challenges and voting for challenges can only be done by the cities, counties bordering with the cities, or then real estate developers or campuses. So no researchers or no citizens cannot do that. And the reason is that the one should be able to arrange a pilot inside their city. And then the researchers get to know the challenges and propose the initial solution ideas by September 16. So cities are welcome to check the ideas from September 18, and then we will proceed from there. Yes, and on May 29, feel free to register to the webinar. Do we have any questions? You can raise your hand and we can give the floor to you. Or do we have anything in the chat already? Does it seem that everything is very clear? So yeah, in reality, I hope we get as many cities, different cities and new cities that haven't been participating yet to propose the challenges. Also under the Smart City Challenge 2023, you can see the examples that were proposed by the cities for that round. So that's for your inspiration, or when you don't know exactly is that the right one or not. Yes, we have a question from Boyan.
Hi, question. So if we participate and we do not get approved with a city challenge, but we have a solution proposed, are we then free to develop the solution on our own, or does it remain the property of intellectual property of the Teltech? Or the
meaning when you apply and get finance?
Yes, or we don't get financed. We have a solution developed, but we don't get financed.
If you don't get financed, then you can do what, then of course we cannot own the thing that hasn't been developed. Then you can go on your own as you wish, definitely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Georgios?
Hello, you refer to a city. So
Yes.
I would like to, for example, in the Greek case, Thessaloniki is consisted of 13 municipalities, the city of Thessaloniki. So an applicant should be a municipality, or can it be an intermunicipality body, like a developmental agency?
It depends on your capabilities, meaning like for us, it is important that you are able to arrange the pilot in a city that then belongs where that you're governing. So do you have those practical people accessible? Can you guarantee that if this gets selected, then you can really arrange the real pilot and the kind of hands-on people from those cities be involved? If yes, then you're welcome. If you don't have direct access, then unfortunately, you need to encourage the city to participate. Anything else? So if there's still raise some questions that you don't have answers, please feel free to call me or write to me. Yes, there is quite long instructions also at our homepage, so most of it is written there, but there is quite a lot of material. So in some cases, it's easier to write to me. Feel free to do that. We will try to answer as quickly as possible to get you on board. And we are looking forward to receive your challenges by May 15. And then please register for if you propose a challenge or if you're interested on the challenges that the other cities are proposing, please register for the May 29 webinar. And yes, if we had here the researchers or companies, then the instructions and conditions to you will be explained on April 17. We are really glad that we had you here. And yeah, let's hope the spring comes also to Estonia. We had a nice snowstorm today, so we are hoping that we can soon enjoy the nice spring. Thank you, and let's make our cities a better place.